Hello, everyone. Satsanga Astrology here. This time I will talk about the second half of July 2022. I will not include much of the new moon at the end of the month because I plan on doing a third video for that in the month of July. So I hope it's not much of a wait, but I will give you some advances about what the new moon will look like. But we are still in the cycle of the Cancer moon, right? We started the new moon in Cancer cycle in by the end of June, and we are still on it. And I did a full moon in Capricorn already, a video, and you can watch it in my channel. If you like my work, don't hesitate to share and comment and subscribe to my channel so that supports my work. I really appreciate your being back if you are already subscribed, and if you're new, welcome. I think I will not disappoint you. I will share with you several insights about the mind challenges that we are facing in the second half of July. And this is going to be a difficult time. Have you noticed people getting crazy and doing crazy things? Well, Mercury is heading the pack, right? And as it progresses in the zodiac towards the end of the natural zodiac, right? Because it is traveling now is in Cancer, but is going into Leo, and then progressing towards the end of the zodiac, the natural zodiac. It's hitting day by day other planets on the opposite side and squaring them and trining them and sextiling them. So the mind will be kind of agitated, and I think we will feel it, right? So this is, by the way, the full moon, July 13, 2022 at 21 degrees Capricorn, 21 minutes. And this is on the, in a couple of days, I am doing this video on the 10th of July morning for me in Central Texas. So here is my contact information if you're interested in my social media. Otherwise, I write a blog, satsangatastrology.blogspot.com, and you can read. Lately, I am writing twice a month or so. And if you like to follow my blog, you go to the right-hand side column and you follow. That way you receive notification every time I publish something. So let's go then. I will share the chart of today, and I will talk about this. Oh, I don't have the chart yet. Let me stop share and I will build the chart. This is, let me see, just a moment, new. And I will do second half of July. Starting today, no, starting on the 14th, right after the full moon. So let me share now the chart, share screen, and here it is. Okay, so this is the after full moon in Capricorn chart. And just one tweak here. Natural houses starting in Aries. Okay, so here's a neutral zodiac that I use for these presentations, right? Starting at 0 Aries, which applies for the whole world. So it's not based in any locality, but it's the chart for the whole world. So as I said, Mercury is right by the sun, and on the 14th we have Venus squaring Neptune. So the 14th of July we have Venus 25 and Neptune at 25. And there have been squaring for a couple of days, and it's exact on the 14. So this is, if we talk about relationships, right? Communications, because Venus is in Gemini after all. Communications in your relationships will be challenged by misunderstandings, illusions, fantasy, imagery, and assuming things that may or may not be real. So be careful in your relationships and how you communicate with your partner or possible prospect to partner or romantic interest. Other things that Venus rules is finances and your money. So you may even lose money here by your commercial dealings, right? Purchasing. Venus in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, is a Venus that likes to take advantage of deals. So make sure that is not a too good to be true deal that may entangle you financially. So be careful in your monetary decisions, how you manage your money, and be careful about your transactions. Check your accounts online. You have access to your accounts online, probably. So make sure that you check those days, especially near the 14, a few days before, like 2-3 days before and 2 days after. But on the 14th, there is this possibility of confusion about everything that is Venusian, right? Although it can be very imaginative and very good for people who are artists and creators of fantasy, photographers, movie makers, because the imagination will have no limits, especially in themes of love and financial affairs. But it's also, Venus also represents values in Gemini, values of your communications, how you relate to other people, right? And values could be challenged by blurred boundaries, that you don't really keep your values. They are kind of iffy, right? So, and that fluctuation or that confusion of your values may involve you in troubles. Yeah. So be careful with this square. Now we start a chain of Mercury aspects starting on the 16th, but already here Mercury is approaching the sun. It will be exact on the 16th and I will advance the chart so you can see. I will animate it for a couple of days. So here we are on the 16th, and Mercury is already approaching. If we animate it forward hours, then we can get Mercury already at 24 degrees exactly. This is a conjunction that happens from our point of view of the Earth. We see the sun, and Mercury would be on the other side. It's called the superior conjunction. So at this time, Mercury will be experiencing challenges. As I said, we may have either a eureka moment, or we can not know what the truth is when other people tell us things, especially with trade, with commerce. And if you need to do contracts or sign on the dotted line for some kind of agreement, wait a little bit. Usually when Mercury is Cazimi, meaning within 17 minutes of orb to the sun, it said that you may have very clear understanding. However, in my experience, you may really miss it. So if you have to sign in the dotted line, I would advise you to wait just a couple of days until Mercury is out of the sun rays, and you in retrospective, you may learn what the truth is, the actual truth is. So on the 17th, we have Mercury trine Neptune, and also trining the sun, trining the Neptune. So it will be both of them. Of course, Mercury will do it first because it's faster than the sun, and then the sun will be trining Neptune. And this is a configuration for creativity, for see here they are. So for creativity, if you do imaginative work, it could be great inspiration, and also a great state of spirituality, and even emotional intelligence. After all, both Mercury and the sun are in Cancer, which is very emotional, and Neptune in Pisces is practically the moon will be conjuncting pretty soon. So I won't include the moon aspects because the moon moves really fast, but moon in this having this trine with Mercury, the sun, and the moon here makes it for a very emotional day, especially a few hours later, maybe on the 18th or overnight, when the moon hits Neptune. It could be that you access psychically, you can access the astral plane, and you may have revelations through emotions, right? Emotions are very good for tapping into the spiritual world and some other level of reality. Okay, so if we go to the 18th, okay, here on the 18th, we have Mercury at the end of Cancer opposing Pluto. So this will be probably huge revelations, right? Revelations, very emotional as well, Mercury in Cancer, from things that have been hidden. So we may learn things that were kept under the rug. You know, in the United States, there are those, the 18th is Monday. The United States, there are hearings regarding the January 6th, 2021, which have been really ventilating, you know, the dirty laundry of the January 6th. So we may expect even more revelations and more shocking and transforming revelations, right? Exposure of crimes and really cruel truths, very cruel, very raw truth, because Pluto is not the delicate Venus, you know, very sweet. No, Pluto could be very cruel. Why? Because there is no moral context for the work of Pluto. Pluto digs out the dirt, the miasma, it digs out the poop, you know, everything that is composting down there, and wants to excrete it and wants to bring it up in order to discard it. So Pluto is the agent of renewal, regeneration. Why? Because it is discarding what is no longer needed. It's decluttering, it's taking out everything that is rotten, right? If you eat and eat and eat and accumulate the waste, you will die. But that's why we have Pluto representing, you know, the excretion in the body that is taking care of that draining of toxins and draining of everything that it is no longer useful. So that is very symbolic of things that are coming up now for processing and elimination. And the sun will also oppose Pluto. So authority figures may be put under the scrutiny of Pluto, and that could be very revealing. But also there could be danger for authority figures. It's the sun is the creative power, and that creativity could be regenerated and reconstructed, right, through the opposition to Pluto. These are powerful aspects that these planets are making. Later on the 23rd, we have Mercury again trining from Leo. Let me animate this so you can see on the 23rd is trining Jupiter, right? Okay, here we are. Mercury trining Jupiter, and the sun enters Leo. So on the 22nd, sun enters Leo, and we start the Leo season. We start the core, the heavy time of the year when the winter is stronger, and so it's a fixed sign, right? And in the southern hemisphere, the winter is very strong. In the northern hemisphere, the summer is being felt very strongly. So Mercury trining Jupiter could be a very huge expansion of our understanding, especially understanding of cultural issues, religious issues that can come to the table, and also an increase and even overwhelming communications, right? And the news could be flooding our waves, our radio and TV waves and internet. So we could receive lots and lots of information, and we may be eager to receive all those information, especially information that come from abroad, in ideas and information about the big picture, right? Jupiter in Aries is the big picture and what are things that are going on in the world, in the global news, for example. So also on the 25th, in that day, it could be also a very positive mindset, and you want to plan travel, for example, and you will be very optimistic and even generous, making plans and thinking about how to go far abroad, traveling, or also an expansion of legal issues. For example, if you are in the process of having any legal concerns, this could increase the need to do something about it. But it's good for scheduling with a very optimistic mindset and generosity of information, especially you receiving a lot of information or you giving a lot of information. So make sure that if you need to keep secrets, then you are discriminating between what is it that you're sharing and what is it that you don't want to share, because this aspect may be impulsive, right? Jupiter in Aries, it may be impulsive. On the 25th, let's see, forward 2 more days. So here on the 25th, we have Venus square Jupiter. And this is similar. Venus square Jupiter, let's see, 25th. Okay. Yeah, here it is, Venus square Jupiter. It's one more degree, but so it happened earlier in the morning, at least in Central Time. So this is similar to the square Venus square Neptune, right? And we have the moon very close by. So it's also overindulgence and even laziness. Oh, I don't want to work. Venus is in Cancer. Let's go home on vacation, right? And it could be also a lot of sentimental, religious or cultural ideas and illusions or delusions about religious ideas or affinities with other cultures, even kind of confusion about relationships with foreigners, for example. There could be misvaluing or misevaluation of things that come from abroad, right? They are foreign, they're different. Jupiter is everything that is different and from other cultures or countries. This could also represent travel difficulties because Venus is looking for comfort and for protection, and Jupiter is very impulsive in Aries. So there could be an overdrive of eager to travel and go places, but at the same time, it could be difficult to do it. So in Venus representing social, it could be kind of an overdrive of socialization in your family, right? Huge family meetings and trying to reconcile different family members, right? And that may not get along very well. So on the 26th and to the 28th, okay, here on the 26th, we have Mercury in Leo, right? Square Mars in Taurus here. See, 14 and 14 degrees. But Mars is also approaching by 4 degrees the conjunction here. That I will talk about that later on, which is the most important part of this video, so stay to the end. But I think that these Mercury aspects are preparation for this. The mind is preparing for this conjunction, right? Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, meaning is the higher octave of the mind. And Mercury, I think, is during these 14, 15 days, is preparing your mind for what is coming here. And definitely, with Mercury squaring Mars, there's a lot of conflict in communications. You are arguing with people very heatedly. There is mental irritation if you are not in conflict with someone else, and you can have even panic attacks, frustration, a lot of frustration, especially because other people won't hear you, won't understand you, and there could be even bad consequences for misunderstanding. So make sure you have the other person repeat what is important for you for them to understand, right? Plans, schedules, routines, commerce and business activity in general is challenging these days, from the 26th to the 28th, and even later on, Mercury will square Uranus. So in a few days. So be careful. That's your mind is not working clearly, especially if you need to operate machines, if you need to even typing, there could be errors or there could be difficulties. Also, you can have difficulties using electricity or knives, right? And there could be news about fires. Mars is in Taurus regarding the Earth. There could be news about fires that will be viral. Yeah, Leo is shining everywhere, right? So those news can go viral. And then on the 31st, which is our most difficult day of the month, so we have the 31st, oh, sorry. Let me animate it a couple more days. Okay, so here we are with Mercury opposing Saturn. One more day. One more day. Okay, so here we have Mercury at 23 opposing Saturn. So it's in between the, let's see, on the 31st, probably earlier in the morning. And they are in square with these back here. As I said, Mars is almost on top of Uranus in the North Node. So this is actually a T-square, right? By a couple of degrees. Let's go backwards a few hours. And see what time it is, the exact okay, so here we are, approximately is on the 30th here Central Time by midnight. So midnight is the time when Mercury is opposing Saturn. And so there is a lot of worry. So we are already seeing what is going on here. And I will speak about it. But we are already worrying. We are already with this negative thinking and the negative depressive mentality. There is also a polarization of ideas and opinions. So and it could be heavy work and there is a high risk of health problems here. Mercury opposing Saturn can be problems with the lungs, with digestive system, with the bones, and is not good for making plans, or it would be delayed communication and very negative mindset. Meaning that this Mercury in Leo will be completely overwhelmed by the Saturn, doom and gloom. Right? Saturn is here regulating and controlling society, and Mercury wants to be happy-go-lucky, but it doesn't happen. It may come later, but not now. Saturn always delays whatever it touches. So if you're making plans, then there will be a delay. If you are traveling, doing short distance travel, that will be delayed as well. For some reason, a huge truck will be in the middle of the road and you won't be able to pass through, or at the exact time when you are driving through the railroad, well, the bars come down and you cannot go. So all kinds of little things that will delay or block your communication, your transportation, or short distance travel. And if you need to sign agreements, that will take a long time. If you're writing documents, for example, that are important, or writing even emails, you will take a long time to finalize the text. And as well as doing paperwork, it will be bureaucratic blocks and hindrances and limitations and regulations of all kinds. It will be a very bureaucratic day, indeed. So now I would like to go to the 1st of August or 31st, of July, when here we have the conjunction of the two planets and the north node of the moon. Okay, so why this is so important? Well, it's very rare. first of all. And I will show when this happened the last time. But 18 degrees, according to Nikola Stojanovic, a Serbian astrologer who wrote a book about the degrees, the 18 degrees corresponds to the energy of Virgo. And Virgo is everything that is not working well, anything that is problematic, everything that needs to be fixed, everything that goes out of balance, that is going nuts and wrong. Especially with Uranus, it will be something unexpected, sudden, surprising, and eccentric, and something that we really don't know, because Uranus always brings something that is unknown, that is out of the context we already know, revelations that we don't know. Mars brings the fire, the impulse. So as I said, the 18 degrees is not a very good degree. And another factor that makes this conjunction very important is that it's Uranus will stay at the 18-degree point for a long time. So starting on the 19th of July and going through the 12th of October, Uranus will stay at 18 degrees. Why? Because it's at that mark when it turns retrograde. So, no, when it turns direct, sorry, it turns direct. It's been retrograde. Oh, let's see, I'm confused now. No, it's turning retrograde, it's direct. Sorry, I was confused for the moment. So Uranus has been direct, and it's turning retrograde in the middle of between July and October, right? So it will hold the 18 degrees forever. So until the 12th of October. So, and it will be, in addition, it will be squaring Saturn in almost exactly by 37 minutes orb, October 6th and 7th. So at that time, the square will be almost perfect, not perfect, but I think operational as well. So this is the clash between the old ways and the new ways, breaking rocks, right? Breaking bones as well. So Saturn is holding on, is the mountain that doesn't move, and Uranus comes like an earthquake and breaks it. So I think that since Saturn and Uranus will be within 3-degree orb since middle of August until the end of November, even beginning of December, it will be operational for a long time. So this square has been on and on and on since last year, 2021. I have a video on my YouTube channel that you can go back and watch about the meaning of this square, and I will put the link in the description below so you have it there if you're interested in learning more about the Saturn-Uranus last quarter square. But this is the reason why this conjunction is so important now. So Uranus will join the North Node, the true node, on July 31st. And then Mars will be conjoining Uranus on August 1st, as you see it here. So for some hours or some time, for one day, probably they will all be at 18 degrees. So as I said, is the degree of bad luck. So it could be so many things, from discoveries from in the heavens. Now we have the Webb telescope in space, looking down and farther into other solar systems and exoplanets and other stars, and very far away where we didn't know things existed, right? A little speck in the sky is now expanding thanks to that telescope. So we may learn about violent things, Mars, in the cosmos, in the heavens. It could be a greater electrical activity in the air, on the earth. That could be violent. There could be fires started by thunderbolt, for example. There could be explosions. There could be earthquakes, volcano eruptions. The North Node has this energy of intensifying the planet that touches it, because the North Node, as well as the South Node, they are the points where the eclipses are occurring, right? Where the sun and the moon touch those very sensitive points in the sky, and something very unexpected or fated, or something really powerful happens that is really out of control of the human life. So this is kind of similar to having a Uranus eclipse with the North Node of the moon. So it's definitely increasing the emotionality of any event, right, that may happen. It may also be volatility in financial markets, or even changes, sudden drops or highs in currency value, right? Taurus is our values. It could be violence in the markets, in financial spheres. It could be bankruptcy. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So, and Scorpio is anything that is banking, mortgages, the mortgage market. So there could be really drops in the housing market as well, problems with mortgages, and also it could be bad news about the electricity sources, or sources of energy in general. Taurus rules any source of energy, be it cold, or be it, just a moment, I need to plug my computer. They need energy, they need food as well. Okay, so Taurus is any source of energy. So what could happen here is a reversal of some kind in the energy sources and provision, distribution. So of course, depending on where Taurus is located in your chart, that will be the upheaval where you will feel it. Of course, if it is Taurus, your first house, and 18 degrees is in the first house, then your body may have some kind of, electrical problem. They could affect your head. It could, because of Mars, it could be a nervous problem. It could be as simple as having anxiety, very extreme anxiety or nervousness. If people are vulnerable, there may be seizures. If it is in the first house, right? And especially if it is touching or aspecting by opposition or square or conjunction any other planet. So you need to consider the symbolism or significators of the planet, the natal planet, as well as the significations of Mars and Uranus. So in order to really clarify what are the possibilities, you can consult your preferred astrologer. Of course, we don't have the magic ball to know the future. We can only interpret archetypes and symbols. So we can give you an array of possibilities like I am giving you now, but never really determine exactly what will happen. So don't be fooled by the astrologer that will tell you exactly this is going to happen, because it depends on so many other factors like other planets in your chart, how you choose to live your life, right? It is not the same a person who, for example, has always been healthy and very conscious about their health, and another person who is a drug addict or alcoholic or something, extreme. So of course, the way you choose to live your life is then determines the possible implications of a transit like this. So also Uranus is the wind. So there could be winds that are very violent, meaning hurricanes, tornadoes, very destructive tornadoes, or it could be a wind that is bringing the Sahara sand, and it's making the atmosphere very toxic, right? I saw one Sahara wind in Spain a few months ago, and the whole air was red. So red is the color of Mars, right? So because of the reflection of the sun rays on the sand, the fine particles of sand in the air. So winds, violent winds are possible, violent fires as well on the surface of the earth. As I said, volcanoes erupting. There could be missiles attacks because Uranus is coming from the sky and Mars is aggression. So that could be aggression through missiles or bombs or air bombarding in some places of the world. It could also be air pollution, right? Uranus is air and Mars is toxins or pollution. And if there is a fire, it could be uncontrollable fire. So make sure that you take your precautions about the place where you live, and if you go to parks or places of where there is brush and dry leaves and all that, and don't make a fire. It could be out of control pretty soon. So as I said, it could be explosions as well. This is a very violent configuration, and as I said, it is rare, and I'm going to show you. Let me change a new share. But I don't have it open, so just a moment. Let me stop share here, and I will look for the image that I would like to share with you. Just a moment. Okay. So I think it's this one. Here it is. Okay. Here it is. I found it. Just a moment. And so I can share it. Okay, so now screen share, this one. Okay, so here I have the chart for last time that the North Node, Mars, and Uranus were conjuncting in Taurus, in the sign of Taurus, right? They might have conjunct other places before, but this is the time when they conjoined in Taurus, and casually at the same degree, 18. So this probably is not the exact time, but look at the date, June 8, 1324, 324 BC. So before Christ. So at that time, Alexander the Great was coming back from his conquests in the East, from even went to India and established the biggest empire known till that time, right? And he had expanded his dominion and his empire, and he came back to Rome, and he was executing everyone who hadn't been faithful to his campaign, to his cause, to his ambitions, right? So look at this chart. It's even close to Pluto here. So but then it was this component of even more violence, imposing power on the earth, right? And all of it was opposing Neptune in Scorpio, even more expansion. So it was a very expansive power that was shown back then. This is as rare as this configuration is now in Taurus, right? It hasn't happened for so many centuries, millennia, right? I think it's something to take seriously. I cannot predict exactly what is going to happen, but I gave you the significators, the archetypes of Uranus, liberation, breaking the molds, right? Especially in squared with Saturn, right? Mars is adding the impulse, the fire, the aggression to, I think, overcome this Saturn limitation that we have. Plus, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, where Saturn is. So I think this conjunction has the power to break the Saturn holding back, right? I think in this case, Uranus will be prevalent, and it was, and Mars, as I said, is the fire, the impulse, the ignition, right? That puts the initiation of something new, completely unknown. So we may not see the full development on the day of, but remember, this is a cycle that is starting. Like in 324 BC, it was a cycle starting this huge empire, right? So I don't know what is starting right now, but definitely is a beginning of a cycle. Mars conjunct Uranus and the whole of it conjuncting the North Node is a new cycle of three points in the sky. So as we see, I don't know when this will happen again, but you can be certain that whatever is the three of them start there, it will last for a long time, especially in Taurus, right, which is a fixed sign, earth sign, and it wants the stability. It doesn't want to move and go places and modify like mutable signs, you know. It's a fixed sign. So we're starting something that will be durable. Even though it may be a rupture, it may be a break of the bones or a break of the structures or a break of the rocks, right? The Saturn, right? Breaks of organizations. Saturn is the organizations, the systems that are they are sustaining society, the collective, right? Aquarius in place. And this conjunction in Taurus may completely change those structures and those limits that Saturn is putting in society. So as I said, the earth will change, maybe geopolitics. Also, Uranus represents politics. So the geopolitics could be changing. As I said, I can only interpret archetypes, energy, and symbols. So we will see what happens, and make a comment in the description box below, and I'll see you next time when I will speak about the new moon in Leo. Goodbye now.